So now let's take a look at one of the most important lines of this whole opening. Knight c3, bishop b4, e3, and here basically black has of course a lot of continuations like d5 and or like c5 and castles here also. My problem with those continuations is that first of all I wanted to stay clear of like the main lines. Basically I didn't want to just show you 15,000 lines of analysis which nobody can remember, which lead to a boring endgame. So I wanted to keep it for this DVD at least more interesting. And I want to suggest the following setup. Yeah? We go b6, and now white's main move is knight e2, then bishop d3, bishop b7, knight f3, and bishop b3, bishop d3, bishop b7, knight e2 are covered elsewhere on this DVD, but the main move is knight e2, and after knight e2 I want to go c5. Basically knight e2 prepares a3, and white wants to recapture with a knight on c3. I believe that this maneuver bears a name, like the whole system more or less bears the name of the great Grandmaster Rubinstein. And of course we want to resist white capturing on c3 with a knight. So basically we go c5, and have it here. So we go c5, and now white plays a3. It's better for white for various reasons to have this move included, because he gains absolutely nothing by postponing it. a3, bishop a5, we get the main position of our repertoire against e3, the position where I probably have to say a few words about what the fight will look like in the moves to come. I mean, first of all, it's clear that this particular system is kind of defined by this slightly unusual configuration on the queen side, because we kind of voluntarily, with our last three moves, we created this structure on the queen side where we played c5, b6, and put the bishop on a5, where needs to be mentioned the bishop has no moves except for bishop takes c3. So basically we have kept this bishop for the time being being the most important part of the sentence. At some point you will have to exchange this bishop, but this is the important bit. We want to wait until either this knight disappears from e2, well, we will insist on Nimzovich's main idea and we'll double the white pawns on c3 and c4, or something appears on d2 and we take bishop takes d2, exchanging our bishop for the bishop, yeah, and not for the knight on c3. And also for now we are still keeping quite a bit of pressure on the white's position, given the fact that this diagonal is kind of the same diagonal where white has his king. And also one of the reasons I chose this for this DVD is that it's just so nicely complex. The downside of this complexity being that well, we'll have to study quite a number of lines, but they're not going to be boring, and this is, I think, a big deal. At least it's a big deal for me. I mean, maybe some players out there, they like a boring thing, but I'm always excited to see something complex in the opening. Once again, bishop on a5. Let's now get back to the chess side of it. Bishop on a5 is an issue. Another issue is that white has like 27,000 ways to play this particular position. And but okay, we'll get there. Bit by bit, it's going to be manageable. So the main thing is that white actually can try to immediately attack the black setup with rook b1. This is actually anyway one of the main moves. knight a6. Our setup kind of hinges on this. And queen a4. White is preparing b4, and for a while this was considered almost a refutation, yeah, of the whole thing. And now we do play bishop b7, and this kind of the small tactical thing is extremely important. White, for the time being, cannot play b4 in this position. After b4, black plays bishop c6 and b5, and either now bishop e4 or cd, bishop e4, and because the white rook on b1 is hanging, black is in time, like after say rook b2, black is in time to go knight b8, or in fact even knight c7, and then black will go back bishop b7, castle, and play d5, a6, and white's position will be completely ruined, because as you see, he played b4 and b5 without gaining anything at all, and just weakened his position quite hopelessly. So basically this trick is the very reason why all this is playable, but nevertheless this remains an important line. So now white has two completely different possibilities. One of them is f3, and as you see from this line, bishop e4 is important, so f3 kind of takes the square away from black and insists on playing b4. And maybe that's where we can start. So f3, and for a long time I tried to make castles possible. So basically, if it's possible, I would like for black to castle. And now, okay, white has some moves like king f2, and if this will ever turn out to be relevant, you can find some notes about king f2 in the analysis file. At least that's the hope. But the main line is of course b4. And my point here was bishop c6, b5, cd, ed, and for this DVD I prepared this beautiful novelty. This whole concept is a bit novel with e5, and for a long time it looked like black was doing fine, and I was actually looking forward to showing you a lot of beautiful lines here, like for instance d takes e5, knight e4 is the main idea, and if white plays bishop e3 instead, then black also has a lot of interesting lines like queen e7, and with some amazing complications like queen c2, knight g4, and I was very happy for black in the resulting complications, and I was really looking forward to this. But then when kind of rechecking this this very morning, I do take my preparation for this DVDs very seriously. I discovered that this slightly unusual move back with the queen d1, leaves black maybe just short of having enough compensation. I mean, here also black has this this move knight e4, and I spent some time looking at fe4, queen h4 check, knight g3, and the lines like bishop c3 and bishop d2, and here different possibilities like bishop takes d4, bishop e4. I mean, you see black does have a lot of possibilities, but to my disappointment, if I may be allowed to say so, and a bit to my surprise, I did not find enough compensation for black in this position. So basically with a heavy heart I had to find a different continuation for black. In case you are interested, and in case any of you is able to find enough compensation in this position, you can check the rest of the analysis in the analysis file. But for now, basically I had to come up with a different solution for this particular problem, the solution which I was happy with. And it was more difficult than I thought it would be, but I think I succeeded. And okay, not to make this video too long, I think we'll take a look at the solution and at some other lines in this Rook B1 Queen A4 system in our next video.